In this video, I'm going to write a simple calculator program that fulfills the requirements for Lab 2. And so for my program, I'm going to write a program where you give it the size of a swimming pool, an above-ground swimming pool, and it figures out the volume of water that's required to fill that pool. So basically, let's say you have an above-ground swimming pool that's round and it's 20 feet in diameter and it's 6 feet high. What's the volume of water that you need to fill that pool? So I'm going to start by creating a main page. And this is going to be where my form lives. So we'll call it main.php. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the PHP here because I just need HTML for the form. So I have a title for my page, and then the body is going to have a form in it. The method is going to be get, and the action is going to be calculate. So I'm going to have a calculate.php page, and then inside the form I'm going to have a table. And there's going to be 3 rows, so the first row has 2 cells. So here's the diameter of the pool. So there's the first row. And then, let me move this over a little bit. And then this one is going to be the depth of the pool. And then I'm going to have the submit button. Okay. And this time I'm going to go ahead and put some style properties in here. So I'm going to create a style sheet in the head of the document. This is optional. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to. I'm going to create a .write style, and this is a class. So any item in here that has a class equal to write is going to get this style. And I'm just going to do text align colon write semicolon. And then I'm going to use that to right align the labels on each of my text boxes, and also right align the button. And to make this work, I need to have this cell span the full table. Okay, and let's go ahead and put a header in here as well. And then a little text to describe how to use it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like so far. I'm going to go to Chrome and load main.php. Not bad. So let's say it's 20 feet, and I want to fill it to 6 feet. I click Submit, and I get an error because I haven't written this page yet. But we see that there's a diameter value and a depth value, so that means that part's working. Now I'm going to go back and make my calculate page. So I have to make sure it matches the name that I put in the script. And here's my PHP. So I'm going to have $ under get. So let's go ahead and just put a line in here that I can put a breakpoint on. And I'm still waiting for connections, so the debugger should work. So I'm at the breakpoint. If I look at the get array, I see there's a diameter value and a depth value. So let me go ahead and grab those. I'm going to say diameter is $ under get square bracket the string depth. Oops, should be diameter. And depth is equal to $ under get square bracket depth. And now I need to do some math. So I'm going to go ahead and look up the formula for calculating the volume of a cylinder. And it's right here. So pi times the radius squared, and radius is half the diameter. So if it's a 20-foot diameter, it's going to be a 10-foot radius. So square that number and then multiply it by the height. So 6 times 10 squared is 100. So 600 times pi, which is about 3.14. So about 1,800 cubic feet. So let's go ahead and write that in PHP. So I'm going to calculate the radius, which is the diameter over 2. And then I'm going to calculate the volume, which is going to be pi. So there's a built-in function for pi that returns 3.14 times, and then I want the radius star 2, so that's the radius squared. And if I want to support earlier versions of PHP, I can also write this as pal radius 2, and then times the depth. So that should give me the volume. And then if I want to calculate gallons based on cubic feet, let's look up how to do that. So cubic feet to gallons, 1 cubic foot is 7.48052 US gallons. So if I multiply the number of cubic feet by this, I'm going to get the number of gallons. And next week we'll see how to make a constant that holds this value. So now I've done all my calculations. Let's go ahead and output the results. Go ahead and stop that. So here's my swimming pool calculator. And I'm going to start with a header tag. And then I'm going to put this in a paragraph. The volume of a swimming pool that is, let's say, 20 feet in diameter and 6 foot deep is, let's say, 1,600, so let's say 8,400 gallons. And then I'm going to replace these numbers here with the actual PHP variables. So this is the diameter. So there's a PHP island for the diameter. And let me just go ahead and break this line. And I'm going to copy that and paste here. And this is going to be the depth. And then this is going to be the gallons. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. I'm probably going to want to round these numbers because they're going to be a little big, and because I said I was going to show you number format, but I haven't yet. So let's just go ahead and see what we get so far. So the volume of a swimming pool that is 20 foot in diameter and 6 feet deep is 14100.448. Yeah, so basically 14,100, say 0.4 gallons. So I'm going to want to round right here, 1 decimal place. And the way I do that is by saying number format, and then gallons, and then how many decimal places I want. So I want 1 decimal place. And you can also specify what character to use for the decimal point, because in some countries they use comma here instead of period. And then number format's also going to separate the thousands groups with commas. So it's going to say 14 comma 100. And if I wanted to use a different separator here or no separator at all, I could specify what to use for the comma character. But I kind of like the comma here, so I'm just going to leave the default and just say number format 1 decimal place. So now if I reload, 14 comma 100, 14,100.4 gallons. And that's really all you need for the SimpleCalculator. When you're done, go ahead and zip up the week 2 folder and upload it to the Dropbox for Lab 2.